everyone. I'm Laura Dunford, and I'm so happy that you're here. This is a video, day 2 of a 7 chakra yoga and yoga nidra immersion. If you are participating in the yoga immersion, we're so excited for you, and we are hoping that you're enjoying the experience so far. We know that there's lots left to experience. And if you are just first hearing about this yoga and yoga nidra immersion, then not to worry, I'll leave some information for you below, some links for you to sign up if that's something that you're interested in. So this is only day 2. It's not too late to join, and you can practice with us, with myself, Ali Boothroyd, Tina Kivinen, and Kristen Rose Foster, to move along through the 7 days of practice. Each day an exploration of a chakra and a practice themed around that chakra. Yeah, so I'll leave some information below. And like I was saying, today's day 2, so we're moving into the 2nd chakra, the Sacral Chakra, or svadisthana. So through this practice, we're going to explore postures, since the 2nd chakra lives around the sacrum and the low back, also the hips and the area of the reproductive organs. So this space around the pelvis, we are going to experience lots of lovely hip opening, low back stretching, yummy, fluid type postures. So whenever you feel ready, we're just going to be sure that we have all of the props that we need. Things like something to sit on. We're going to start from seated. So if you're comfortable sitting on a mat, then you might maybe I'm sitting on a folded blanket right now. You could do the same. Or you may wish to sit on a cushion or even a chair. So many of our seated postures can be practiced from a chair. Perhaps a bolster. So we will end the practice with some relaxation. Even a yoga block. It's kind of hiding here, but we have a yoga block and a strap or a scarf. So this isn't necessarily an absolute for the practice, but it might be something that you would feel supported by. So if you often use a strap in your practice, maybe make sure that you have that handy. Good. And then when you feel ready, we'll start to settle into a comfortable seated position. So perhaps that's Sukhasana with legs crossed, or some other expression of a seat, maybe even in a chair like we were saying before. What we want to focus on is, most of all, is being tall through the spine. So elongating here through the spinal column. The home in the energetic anatomy of the Sushumna Nadi, which is the home of all of the 7 main chakras, the 7 centers that we will be exploring through this immersion. So we work to align physically and energetically here. You might shift a little bit from side to side to feel rooted through sits bones. Yesterday, Ali guided us through a lovely Muladhara, root chakra themed practice, and you might come home to sense that area, the tailbone lengthening downward, the space between the sits bones, between the pubic bone and tailbone area, connecting with the earth below. While the crown of the head reaches upward. And you can feel the shoulders softening down away from the ears, welcoming that in the physical body. You might even gently hug the shoulder blades toward the spine. Begin to notice the breath. Sensing your inhales and your exhales. You might find that simply bringing your awareness to your breath is enough to call it to lengthen and deepen in your body. And if you can, breathe in and out through the nose. Expanding your inhalations, lengthening your exhalations. You might imagine as your breath deepens that you could call it all the way down below the navel, in the low belly, in and around the low back, the sacrum. You might imagine your breath like waves of water rolling in. The wave of breath rolls into the body and rolling out on the exhale. And the element of the sacral chakra is the element of water. This chakra calls us to connect with the teachings, the wisdom of water, our ability to flow through life with less resistance, to move through change and to accept non-permanence. And it's the color of orange. You might imagine that as you breathe and guide your breath down toward the sacrum, that you splash in the waters of svadisthana, the second chakra. And that as you breathe in, you welcome energy to nourish the center. And as you exhale, as you breathe out, you release any imbalance, any excess energy from there. As if you could breathe the center into balance. Imagining these waves of breath flowing. And I'll invite you to practice with this continued deepened breath. I'll invite you to layer in a practice of Chandra Vedana, or moon piercing breath. So to find this breath work, we're actually going to alternate which nostril we're breathing from. So you might draw your 2 peace fingers down into your palm, or maybe even these 3 center fingers down into your palm. Just using your dominant hand, whatever hand is most comfortable. So we're breathing in and out through the nose, continuing to breathe deeply. Svadhisthana also connects us with the moon. So with that ability to flow through change, we connect with things that wax and wane, things that are ebbing and flowing, just like the lunar cycles. So this breath is a lovely breath work to enjoy as we celebrate the themes of this chakra. Let's start by taking a deep breath in through the nose. Breathe out through both nostrils together. And then plug the right side nostril Breathe in through the left. Plug the left, open the right, exhale through the right. Plug right, open left, inhale through left. Deep breath, plug left, open right, fully exhale through the right side. And we continue along like this, breathing in through the left, breathing out through the right. And in this way we are activating the soothing, grounding, calming feminine energy of the left side body of the moon as we ground and pacify the more masculine activating energy of the sun in the right side body while we exhale there. Chandra Vedana, moon piercing breath, moon penetrating, accessing, entering breath. Like we're harnessing that soothing energy of Chandra, that feminine energy. Svadisthana, the Sacral Chakra, also connects us with a feminine energy. Just a few more rounds. Breathing in through left side, out through right. One more full deep breath in that way. In through left, out through right. And you can release both hands to the lap, noticing the effect. And with the eyes closed, you might take time to roll the wrists after that. Breathing in and out through both nostrils. You might roll your shoulders up and back and down. Even rolling the neck. Any intuitive movement here. If you're rolling the neck around in circles in one direction, change the direction now. Good, now let's take a moment to stretch it out through the legs. You can shake them out. You might move from side to side, even pedaling out through your feet, or windshield wipering your feet, circling with your toes. And then leaning into your hands here, let's bend the knees in front. Windshield wipering the legs from side to side. Massaging the area of the glutes and finding some stretching, some opening around the hips, while also creating a bit of a stretch, some release around the sacrum, the low back, the area of the svadisthana chakra. Bring the feet together here and draw just one knee at a time outward. You might start to sense a stretch through the inner thighs as you continue to open the hips. Now the next time that right side knee draws down, can you also draw a left knee down, and we'll come forward, root through sits bones. Transitioning into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. You can hold your legs or your feet as you sit up nice and tall. If there's a need for any support underneath the legs to support the hips or the inner thighs, you might tuck pillows or blankets under here, even blocks, just to draw the weight of the legs onto a prop rather than down into the hips if needed. And start to sway gently from side to side. Another theme of the second chakra is movement. Just as water can move along a landscape, like a river or stream, or even move within the water body, you can begin to explore fluid movement in your physical body. Movement as a form of communication with your body as you allow yourself to experience sensation. Sensation like the language that the body uses to communicate with you. You might start to circle, moving any way that feels good for you today. Could circle one way and then the other, or even rock forward and backward. Maybe a few rounds of cat and cow stretches come through, an arching of the spine as you draw forward, and a rounding of the back as you drop back, or perhaps more of a forward fold. You may come in and out of a forward fold or even pause. So again, just listening to your body, feeling empowered to express yourself through your practice, through this movement. Self-expression, another theme of this chakra, and creativity. This movement, this exploration can be an act of self-expression, authenticity, creativity. And take your time, maybe 3 to 5 breaths to finish up. And we'll meet in a tall seat. Now you might use your hands to help the knees to drop back toward each other. Perhaps windshield wipering a few more times. And take your time to transition into table pose. Drawing to your hands and knees. If your knees do need a little bit of extra support while you're here, I actually have 2 yoga mats. Sometimes a little bit more support is needed. You might put a blanket under your knees. Good. Now let's start to wag the tail from side to side. You might imagine you're sliding your hips from side to side. Noticing sensation around the hips and into the low back. Perhaps circling your hips around and around. Stay connected to your breath. If you're circling around and around, go the other way. And start to creep the hands forward. So it's almost like you're coming through a kneeling plank at the front of your circle, reaching hips back at the back of your circle. And let's pause in this kneeling plank-like position Reach your right leg back and imagine that as you reach your right toes back, you're being pulled backward by the toes. Then exhale, right knee draws toward the right forearm. Inhale, reach the right toes backward, like they're pulling you back. Exhale, right knee toward the forearm. Once more. Now this next time that your knee comes toward the forearm, let's step the foot to the outside edge of right hand. Your toes can be out on a little bit of an angle, or you might point them forward. We have both hands to the inside edge of the right foot. Perhaps reaching for your block here. Bringing the ground a little bit closer to you. You may continue to circle, or you can rock forward and back. Trace figure eights. Perhaps imagining that you are moving underwater. Slow, gentle, fluid movements. Slowing it down as a way to really invite your body to experience the pleasure of the movement, of sensation. Let's pause in our half squat, low lunge, keeping left hand down. You may wish to take the right hand to the inside edge of the knee. You can draw it outward gently, lifting up through the inside edge of the foot and even guiding it back in. Just fluttering this knee like a butterfly wing. Once more. Beautiful. Rooting through the foot, rooting through the hands. We'll transition back to our kneeling plank. You may circle or sway through the hips from side to side. When you're ready, reach left toes back. Imagine that something's pulling left toes back. Deep breath in. Exhale, left knee toward the forearm. Inhale, reaching back. Exhale, knee toward forearm. One more time, inhale, reach back. Exhale, step left foot to the outside edge of left hand. You might have your block along with you. You can make fists with your hands on your mat or hold your block. Maybe circling, swaying from side to side. Any kind of movement here that feels good for your hips. Deep breaths. Perhaps breathing down into svadisthana. Beautiful. Now let's take left hand to the inside edge of the knee. And if it's comfortable, you can gently draw the knee outward, lift up through the inner edge of left foot, guide the knee back inward, rooting through the foot. And you can keep going. Beautiful pause, rooting through the foot. Now this time, let's lift through the right knee by tucking the toes. Step the right foot forward, opening it out to the edge of your mat so your feet are a little bit wider than hip-width distance apart. Just a little bit wider. And you may have your block here with you. Heels turning inward slightly. Let's exhale to bend the knees just as deeply as is comfortable. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, like you're looking in front of you. Exhale, start to round the back forward. Inhale, lengthening through your legs. Exhale, bending your knees. Inhale, lift the torso, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, start to tip forward with your torso. Inhale, lengthening the legs just as much as is comfortable, so you can keep a bend there. Let's do that once more. Bend the knees, breathing out. Inhale, lift, lengthen through the torso. Exhale, bowing forward. Inhale, feel your legs lengthening. And you can keep flowing in that way, or you may wish to pause in malasana, the squat pose. Now you may find a high squat with your forearms propped up on your shins or on your thighs. On your thighs or on your knees rather. Or if it's feeling available to lower the hips a bit more, you might put a block behind you and sit down on a block. You can be supported by a block or even a bolster. You could sit on top of your bolster behind you. Know that the toes can be turning outward, pointing forward, whatever is feeling like the most natural alignment for your body. Heels may lift, so all of that is squat pose. And then once you feel settled in your expression of squat pose, maybe a low squat, perhaps with a block underneath you, or you could be in a high squat. From low squat, you may bring your forearms or elbows to the inside edges of the knees. We all open through the heart. Breathe steadily. Perhaps imagining that you could breathe down into the sacrum. If you're in a high squat, anytime that you need to, you can lengthen through the legs to relieve the thighs. It's quite an activating expression of squat. You might lift through the hips and then lower back down if you're in that higher expression. And if you're in a low squat, let's draw the right hand to meet the left. Take a breath in as you trace a big arch up and overhead, reaching back. You might find a gentle twist. Exhale to draw the sand back toward the inside edge of right leg. Left hand comes over to meet the right. Deep breath in as you sweep this arm up and back. Exhale, drawing it forward, back to the inside edge of the knee. Let's do one more time either side. Good. Now we'll prepare to come to seated. You can bring your hands in front of your pelvis, removing any props that you might have there, almost coming into like a frog-like position. And then you might bring your hands behind you to lower through your bum. You could shake it out. Windshield wiper, feet, or legs. Wonderful. Now we'll be transitioning into a reclined posture. I like to use a folded blanket or a pillow for my head as I lay back. You can have your strap handy just in case, and your bolster handy so you can reach it easily from recline so that you don't have to get back up again. Good, and we'll lay back with the legs bent. Smoothing out through the back. You might tilt the pelvis and pay particular attention to the area of the sacrum, as if you are placing your sacrum onto the earth, tilting the pelvis gently to really find lots of loving support for the sacrum, smoothing out through the area of the low back. And tuck the knees in toward the chest. One hand to each knee. We'll spiral the knees out in opposite directions. Draw them down and away and then back toward each other. And up and out and around. You can change the direction. Beautiful. Now let's keep just the right side knee drawing in as the left foot comes down to your mat. Similarly to Allie's practice yesterday, we might take a strap underneath your foot, to the sole of your foot. And if it's comfortable, you can lengthen out through the left leg now. So checking in with your hips and your low back. Now, today with the strap around the bottom of the foot, you can exhale to draw your knee toward the underarm area. So you're bending through your leg, ankle over knee. Inhale to lengthen through the leg. Exhale, knee out and toward the underarm area, like bend, sole of foot reaches up. Now you may be doing this by holding your big toe with your 2 peace fingers, or maybe holding the low leg, outside edge of the foot. Whatever is comfortable for you, whatever's available. Once more here. Inhale to lengthen through the leg. Exhale, tuck the knee in toward the chest. You can release your strap from the foot. Draw left knee in. And then right foot can lower. Loop your strap around left foot. And as you start to reach this foot up toward the sky, left foot up toward the sky, you might notice if it feels comfortable to stretch out through the right leg. Move with breath. We exhale, left knee toward left underarm. Inhale to lengthen through the leg. Exhale, knee toward underarm area. Inhale, foot presses upward. Beautiful. Let's tuck left knee in toward the chest. And you might try placing the strap on the ground for a moment as you bring both knees in toward the chest. Circle the knees outward one more time, but keep the soles of the feet toward each other. So you can reach for your feet if that's available, or you might notice if you wish to use the strap, you can loop the strap around both feet here if needed. And we'll start to lift the right ankle over right knee, perhaps holding the outside edge of the foot, the toe, or the ankle or shin. And you can bring this right foot back to center. Let's lift through the left foot, ankle over knee, left foot back to center, right side, and you might rock here, just like a boat rocking in the water. Come back to center. Left foot, you can rock the other way. Back to center. Now either flowing from side to side, just like a boat bobbing along, supported by the element of water. You may bring both feet upward at the same time. Both knees bent toward the underarm area, soles of feet pressing upward in Ananda Balasana. Taking rest whenever you need, coming back to center whenever you need. Listen to the body. Slowly bring both feet back to center. Both knees toward the chest. And the feet coming down to the mat. Now you might notice if there's any counter stretch needed here, any windshield wiper movement through the legs from reclined. A nice massage for the area of the sacrum. You may wish to press down through the feet to lift your pelvis upward. Just be mindful of the neck. You might take your prop away if you do wish to press up into bridge pose. You could even find a bit of a flowing bridge, flowing in and out of bridge pose. Or perhaps you tuck into little boat pose with knees drawing in, giving yourself a hug for a moment. And whenever you feel very ready, I'm going to take time to rest back into savasana, ending with a relaxation. In savasana, you can place a bolster under your knees. You might cover your eyes with your scarf, or perhaps you have an eye pillow. You may place a pillow or blanket under your head. Arms resting at your sides, or perhaps on the low belly. You might place your hands on the low belly. If you do wish to find that option, then you may bring the tips of the thumbs and the index fingers to touch, creating a downward pointing triangle below the navel. Noticing your breath. You can sense the breath flowing in and out of the body, just like waves rolling in, and the body rises like the surface of the water. Waves rolling out, and the body softens down as if a wave is retreating from the shoreline. A wave of breath drawing in, belly, low ribs, chest rise. Noticing the cleansing release of the exhale. Body softening, sinking downward. As you continue to rest back, you might notice how each breath can nourish you just like a drink of water, nourishing and sustaining you. And sense the purifying quality of the exhalation, just like water can purify and cleanse. And as you continue to breathe in this way, imagining the breath like waves, sensing these waves rolling in and out. You might imagine yourself in your natural, with your natural breath, breathing in through the left side nostril. Just imagining that you could breathe in through just left side and out through the right. Breathing in through left side nostril and out through the right. Finding an imagined Chandra Vedana, moon-piercing breath. You could imagine that the breath is flowing in like water up the entire left side body now. And as you exhale, can you imagine the exhale washing down the entire right side body? And as if a wave flows, splashes up left side, and pours softly down the right, trickling down the entire right side. Breathing in through left side. Breathing out through right. 3 more natural breaths in this way. Once more, imagine the breath drawing from left foot, washing up the entire left side, and down right side. Breathing in through both nostrils together. Breathing out through both nostrils together. Take a breath in through the nose. Release a cleansing, natural exhale through the mouth. And you might do that again. And you're welcome to continue resting back, relaxing back for as long as you may have space for in your day. And I have just a couple of announcements to share with you as you integrate. You may come to seated, or you can continue to relax in savasana, so whatever feels right for you in this time. Staying present with the breath, and just knowing that in the comments I'm going to leave the link to a water themed water element themed yoga nidra if you do have space for more relaxation in your day. It's about 30 minutes long, so you might follow this practice with that yoga nidra, and you can find it in my videos, but I'll leave a link to direct you right there. If you are coming back up to seated now, whenever you do come back up to seated, please do leave us a comment here on this video. When you comment, then you will be entered into a draw to win a prize at the end of this yoga immersion. If you're practicing this immersion with myself and Ali, Tina, and Kristen in real time through the 7-day period. So be sure to sign up and then leave us a comment on the videos. The prize is an amazing, super cool massage gun. So commenting on YouTube and even sharing an Instagram on our pages helps you to increase your chances to win in the draw for the massage gun, which will be a little bit after the 7-day immersion. So like I said, today is day 2 of the immersion. Tomorrow is day 3, which will be moving up the chakra system to the Manipura chakra, and that will be an experience guided by Kristen Rose. That's sure to be very lovely. There's a playlist of all of the videos that's building as we move along the immersion, so you can practice it again in real time to be entered into the draw to win the prize, but you can also practice anytime, so please do check out that playlist. And if you are enjoying the immersion so far, then in the sense of practicing together in a global community, there's people signed up from all over the world, do know that we are also diving into another experience that is even more in-depth, and a more in-depth exploration of the chakra system through the 200-hour online embodied wisdom yoga teacher training. So that is guided by Tina Kivinen and Ali Boothroyd, and then Kristen and myself are our staff faculty in the training. So it's an online 9-month, 200-hour yoga teacher training that starts this September. So I'll also leave a link for you in the description of this video if you feel intrigued by that experience. So I took the 200-hour yoga teacher training with Tina and Ali, and it was just life-changing, and I know that you will love it as well. And there's, again, just going to be a global community of folks participating just like in this online immersion. So leave me a comment to enter into the prize, and be sure to sign up for the rest of the immersion. I really appreciate you being here today, and I'll see you in another video soon. Thank you, and namaste.